didn't see you there. My name's Bruce, and today I'm going to be going over how to write persuasive essays in our crack course, AP Language video.
Today we're going to go over how to write a persuasive essay in 5 parts. Planning your essay, writing your intro, writing your body paragraphs, your conclusion, and the
finer details.
The first thing you want to do before you write your essay is that you want to read the prompt and you want to make sure you understand it. Just as if you're reading a contract. You wouldn't sign a contract without reading through what it meant, and you wouldn't write an AP essay without understanding what exactly
the prompt is asking for.
And once you have that down and you think you've understood the prompt, you can begin to brainstorm for exactly what you're going to be trying to persuade the audience about. In this case, you might want to make a pro versus con list about the arguments you're going to make. On one side, you can make, on the pro side, you could put this point, this point B, point C, and on the other side, you might put point A and point B. Once you're done doing that, consider the fact that AP readers want to see 3 divisions of proof, which are ideal, but they also settle for 2 divisions of proof. Go in general with the side that you think has the best evidence and also the most, as long as it's still manageable within your time limit. Also keep in mind that there's a third possibility that you can consider when you're writing your persuasive essays, and that is qualifying. And qualifying can be very hard to do, and most AP teachers and AP graders are going to recommend against that, unless you understand the topic very well. But in general, it's a good idea to stay away from qualifying.
So as you move into your introductory paragraph, you want to make sure you start with your attention getter. Attention getter can be a number of things, including a series of 3 ideas or statements, a short anecdote, very short anecdote, keep in mind, or thought-provoking quote. After you've done that, you want to give a bit of introduction as to the topic of the essay. It doesn't really matter what you're saying in this introduction, as long as you ensure that you immediately link this to your thesis. Now, the thesis is the single most important sentence in your essay. A strong thesis will always lead to a strong essay, and a weak thesis will always mean a weak essay. Your thesis should clearly include your DOPs, and make sure you clearly state in your thesis that which side you're going to be taking in this essay.
Next up are the body paragraphs. The body paragraphs are the embodiment of your divisions of proof. Each body paragraph should begin with a topic sentence that sets up what you're going to be talking about in each paragraph. The paragraphs should be approximately half analysis and half evidence. Each paragraph should end with a conclusion tying your paragraph back into the thesis, while also providing a smooth transition to the next.
When starting your conclusion, make sure to use a word like clue, but not finally or in conclusion, because those words are overused and the AP graders will not give high scores. Move on to restate your thesis, but not exactly the same way you started it, but simply reword it in a small amount. Now, go on to rephrase the words you used in your divisions of proof so that you can restate your divisions of proof without actually using the same manner and style of speaking. Finally, conclude the essay with a thought-provoking sentence that leaves the AP reader with something to think about, but always ensure that your conclusion paragraph is not too long.
Now we're going to look at some of the finer details of essay writing, which can really help bring up a high 6 to maybe a high 8 in your writing. When you're writing your essay, be sure to go over these finer details and try to include them in your essay. Now the first thing we're going to look at is to-be verbs.
Is, am, were, be, being, been, words like that.
These words can have the effect of really dumbing down your writing and can often be adverse to helping you be descriptive. For example, consider the sentence, Daniel is getting his mail. That sentence sounds kind of boring. But when you try to get rid of that is verb, you can come up with a better sounding sentence. For example, Daniel picks up his mail. By getting rid of is verbs, the subject in your sentence becomes much more active.
In the next portion of finer details, we're going to discuss a variety of sentence patterns to incorporate in your essay. For example, there's opening with an adjective, such as, like a confused Roomba cleaned the floor, or opening with adverbs, such as pretentiously, Daniel questioned Sweeney. There's also a variety of other sentence patterns. Also make sure to include a variety of punctuation in order to add variety to your essay, such as semicolons, hyphens, commas, colons, periods.
The next tip we have for you is to introduce a counter-argument and then address it. The important part about introducing and then refuting a counter-argument is that you logically address it without making the entire issue personal or emotional. If you realize you can't address the counter-argument, instead choose a different counter-argument that will have a much easier time of addressing logical fallacies.
Lastly, keep in mind that the smoother you write, the more the essay grader is going to like your essay. So try to make your essays flow as much as possible. You can facilitate that process by making sure that you have both a good vocabulary and that you make sure that you have transitions. Lastly, keep in mind that you do not want to sound pretentious. Avoid trying to use SAT words just because they sound fancy.
Thanks a lot for watching this crack course AP Lang video. We hope to see you again.